Forgive you, Father. I forgive you from all them little things. I pray for you. I forgive you, bully. I forgive you, teacher said I wouldn't be. I forgive you for all them little things. I pray for you. Cause I done did a whole lot of sinning, ran around with lots of women, never care who I offended, though I do got good intentions. I know one day we gon' find a way. So this time, I'm gonna live the life. I put my cards on the table. This is all of me. I'm begging for forgiveness from my best friend. Shouldn't you love as a weapon? Coming from the bottom of my heart. Pray for me. Forgive me, mother. Please forgive me, sister. Can you find forgiveness in your heart? And pray for me. Cause I done did a whole lot of sinning, ran around with lots of women, never care who I offended, though I do got good intentions. You know, one day we gon' find a way. So this time, I'm gonna live the life. I put my cards on the table. This is all of me. Good job, man.
Without forgiveness, we as the descendants of slaves wouldn't have been able to persevere. Forgiveness breaks the shackles.
Forgiveness is a strength, and I learned that from an Arabic phrase, La hawla la quwwata illa billah. Quwwa being strength. There is no might and no power except with God.
Forgiveness, why? To free yourself most of all. Allow you to move without hang-ups. Forgive to just let go. Forgive to grow. Forgive and watch your spirit flow free. Forgive and release the other person. You don't have to talk or deal with them. Just forgive them. And most of all, forgive yourself. Peace will flow.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I want to see how many people are logging in. Good evening, everyone. Well, welcome to Bedtime Story Time. We have a interesting night tonight. As far as bedtime story, my name is Christopher Abbott. I am the CEO and owner of CLA Media 11 Group here in Philadelphia. Let's say everybody said they can't hear me. Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay, great. So I am the CEO and the prosper of CLA Media Group here in 11 here in Philadelphia, and we deal with broadcasting, videography, photography, and sorts of medias. And we have a talk show every Thursday, And we're doing some great things here in Philadelphia as far as getting the message out as far as our black communities. So tonight's kind of interesting that we have two great guests tonight. Our first guest, Shelly Shelton, world-renowned, awesome person, beautiful person, who has who's head of, excuse me for my, we're just getting into this, Shelly Sheldon and Associates LLC, Unstoppable.com books. She's a children's author, entrepreneur, very well known for some of her collaboration, things that she do out here, and with working with women and children. This is one of her greatest accomplishments, a book of the son she never had. So pretty soon we're going to bring Shelly on the platform and talk to her about her lifestyle and why did she create this book and what pushed her into doing something like this, which is a beautiful thing. Then we'll have Clarence Coggins. Coggins, I hope I'm saying his name right. Another author, great man, speechless. You know, I've seen some of his stuff, and can't wait to hear what this brother's got to say. So we're just gonna play some more commercials and some more stuff, and wait for more people to log in, and then we're gonna go from there. So stay tuned. We got some great conversation coming up and some great readings.
Reading room. Ruthie's. Reading room. Ruthie's. Reading room. Ruthie's. Reading room.
All right, my little readers, welcome to Ruthie's Reading Room. I'm Ruthie, and this is my buddy Jaw. He's my favorite stuffy, and he's joining us for story time. And today's story time will be the second part of Chandler Goes Camping. Were you all here last time? Are you joining me back again because you heard part 1 and want to find out what happens in part 2? I hope so, and maybe we have some new joiners. So if you're not already ready, run and get your stuffy or blankie and bring a friend back with you, and we'll finish the story. Run and come back now. All right, perfect. I see you're coming back, and we're all excited to find out the end of the story, right? Okay, I'm ready to read it to you, but let's get ready. Let's put our listening ears on and our hands in our lap.
New Kindle release, coming soon to Amazon. Literary work, Auntie, I Don't Want You to Get Married, a children's novel by Clarence Coggins. A young girl finds herself in an emotional predicament when she discovers her aunt is getting married despite her wishes. Danielle, a New York City newbie arriving for all kinds of adventures, does all she can to express her concerns on why she doesn't want her Aunt Julia to get married. Read about this sweet and endearing story about a girl and her unequivocal love for her aunt and her concern to her aunt's well-being. A new and upcoming release on Amazon and free on Kindle Unlimited, July 31st. You can find out more information and receive a review copy by emailing daniellegfny@gmail.com. You can also find out more information on Twitter at Danielle_from and Instagram at DanielleGFNY.
Okay, how's that? Okay, great. Technology, everybody. So we're going to bring to the stage world-renowned writer, entrepreneur, decorator, um, public speaker, phenomenal, Shelly Sheldon. Just going to add to the stream. Hi, Shelly. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
It's a great day, no matter what.
Amen.
I wish we could go back to the old days of walkie-talkies and just talking face to face, but I can't wait till this pandemic is over so we can get rid of Zoom, StreamYard, all this stuff. I'm getting sick of it.
What's so funny is in my book, my the son I always wanted to have has they use walkie-talkies, so it's interesting that you said that.
Yeah, I don't like this. I need face to face. So, and let's engage you. So, first of all, I know who is this phenomenal writer, and tell us how you got started writing children's books.
Wow. I've actually been writing for quite a while now, and I don't know if that's me where you can hear like me, you can hear me twice. I don't know. Hopefully, you can hear me right now.
We can hear you.
But I've actually been writing since I was a kid, and just fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love with understanding that I had a gift not only of speaking, but a gift of writing. And you hear people talk all the time about you are ultimately the one that writes your story. Like you write every chapter. Like you've got to be able to not only be ready for change and all those things with life, but what if you had an opportunity to make an impact by writing. And that was one of the things that was so important to me. I started writing children's books about 3 or 4 years ago. And it all started because I went through a process of going through divorce, and that led me into a number of different elements, a number of different businesses. And then I went back to my love of writing. And that led me back to the goal of not only writing, but writing about the son that I always envisioned having. Most people know my story. I used to be blind and unable to walk. And going through that journey revealed a lot to me. I truly took an opportunity to self-assess and realize what was most important to me. And one of those things was writing about the son that I always envisioned having and the impact that he would make on the world. And so I have a series of children's books. And the first one is called The Adventures of Chandler and the Traveling Prayer Shawl. And the new one is Chandler Goes Camping. And so this is the one that we'll be talking about tonight. So I'm super excited to talk with everyone about it tonight.
Now, I'm looking through the pages of the book. I noticed that. Are you in this book?
I am.
I see. I say, wait a minute. That looks like her. And your artists, they did a very good job of painting a animated portrait of you in the book, and that was kind of amazing. Usually, usually I see writers that write a book, children's book. I don't see them in it, but you actually place yourself in it, and now I completely understand why this is the son you never had. So you're writing yourself in the script.
Yeah. It means the world to me. So a lot of the story is true. It's my life story. The portions that are not true is that one, he didn't come into existence in the physically. But my vision was always to have a son. When I envisioned what he would look like, talk like, sound like, how he would impact the world, is all wrapped up in this book. And so that's why it means so much to me. So you have writers that will write about a number of different things. And I applaud all authors that are out here that are really trying to make their mark on the world. But it's given me even a deeper respect for those that take the time to write about what's most important to them and the impact that whatever they write makes, on this planet. So yeah, that's me. Everybody always said, "Oh, that looks like you." That's because it is me.
Well, you have an interesting life because you are multi-talented person, and amongst just writing a book, I seen some of your video clips. I kind of like poked around in your Facebook page and saw some things about you. You're an interior designer. You have an eye for interior designing. Tell me about how you got into that?
Yeah, I actually got into interior decorating years ago. And when I was in college, I was a business administration major. And I was like, wow, God, like I really, I love school, but what I truly want to do is decorate. I wanted to design wedding gowns. I am a very creative person and I'm very spontaneous. And so I always wanted to do that. And when things didn't work out with my marriage, I realized that was the opportunity to dig up every single goal that I had buried because I sacrificed a lot within that marriage. And so I dug everything up, every single goal. And one was interior decorating. And I started working with realtors and Airbnb owners and people like that. And I love being expressive creatively, and interior decorating is one of the things that I'm very passionate about.
Now, as far as your children's books, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with as writing and these children's books?
Yeah. So in the next 5 years, my plan is to continue the series of children's books. I would love to have, at least 12 to 15 books within the next 5 years. And I just want everyone to really see the different adventures that Chandler goes on. There are so many really important principles in this book that I can't wait for people to pick it up and read it. One of the principles is kid entrepreneurship. So he's an 11-year-old entrepreneur. and he really makes his mark on impacting his friends. There's a message about speaking into existence the things that you want. There's so many valuable lessons in this book, and so I just want people to grab hold of it, learn a lot, grow from it. There's also a teacher's guide that helps those that are homeschooling, that have decided that they're not going to be headed back into the classroom. And so that's available. And so I just really want to take an opportunity to help people continue to grow and nurture their children.
Okay. What's the demographic, the age range of these books, for the reader?
Absolutely. Between 8 and 12 years of age.
Okay. And do you have a lot of adults actually engaging your books?
Yeah, absolutely. There's right now I'm doing what I call a series that is focused on dads, and especially African American dads. And what I want the world to see is there are so many amazing dads that are out here that, especially Black fathers. And I want the world to see how amazing these guys are and how precious their children are to them. And, sometimes you'll see Black men portrayed in different ways, but I want the world to see how beautiful Black men are. And these dads have graced me with coming on my Unstoppable TV twice a week in the past several weeks, reading to kids, reading to their kids, reading to families. It's just been such a blessing, and so that's been happening here a lot lately, and a lot of adults have been reaching out.
What is this Unstoppable University? That's an interesting name.
Yeah, Unstoppable University is my accountability coaching community. I'm affiliated with years ago. CJ Quinney and Eric Thomas were coaching me, and CJ said, well, one of the things that described to Shelly is the word unstoppable. He said, you could have given up when you were blind. You could have given up when you were couldn't walk. You could have given up when your ex left you on the floor crying. You could have given up. And in all of those areas of my life, I never gave up. And so he said, ultimately, you are the epitome of the word unstoppable. And so I created Unstoppable University, which is, again, an accountability community that helps people go after every single goal and dream, no matter what it is.
Wow, somebody spoke existence into your life and gave you a word to run with. That's
Amen.
What it sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's interesting, because I believe in listening to great people to feed you, to actually sow into you words of wisdom, and take those words and run with them. Now I noticed that the Unstoppable University is actually empowering women. I was reading some things on that, and you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, ultimately it was created to empower women to grow. Initially, it was created to empower divorced women to grow and to prosper, and then it just kind of spread. The first couple of years, I had a lot of members, and then I just started doing one-on-one coaching, and then my full-time employment kind of got in the way. But ultimately, it is to continue to empower women to grow and see themselves in a whole another light. Women are incredibly amazing, but I think sometimes we beat ourselves up and don't necessarily know how incredibly awesome we are. And so I want every single woman throughout the world to understand that they are unstoppable, that they are beautiful, and they can conquer anything that they put their minds to.
Okay, I understand. You live in the Carolinas. You're in the Carolina area.
No, I'm actually in Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. Okay. Oh, you're not too far. Okay. No, I don't know why I thought you was in Carolina areas, but Virginia, yeah. Do you go to different schools, public schools, or go out and do readings in groups?
I was prior to the pandemic. I was doing a program called Unstoppable Kids in the school systems. And so that was really, really awesome. So there was a separate student curriculum just for them to kind of help them continue to grow and blossom. And then also for a long time, I was doing public speaking. I am a certified Eric Thomas and Associate speaker. And so for a long time, I was doing public speaking in a number of different areas.
Okay. Wow. So we're going to be getting ready pretty soon for your reading. I'm going to bring to the stage. He's not here. Where did he go? Yeah, Clarence is not there. So I get the pleasure of continue talking to you because you are leading an interesting, well-rounded, keep on going life. And look like you are unstoppable. So what is in the plans for Shelly?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. The plans for Shelly, so a number of things that I'm currently doing is investing in real estate. I'm investing in books. I'm investing in staging properties, and then just investing in self-care and taking care of myself. I think one of the most incredible things that you could ever do is to take time to take care of yourself. We as women especially have a very tough time doing that. We take care of everyone, every single person, but we sometimes will take care of everyone else and neglect ourselves. So right now, I am on this journey of self-care and investing for my future. So right now in real estate, so in prayer, the next 5 years to have several properties, several apartment buildings, and I'll continue to push forward towards that avenue and writing more and more books.
Well, you have a partnership in Philadelphia now. I'm blown away. I need to I need to get in on the Unstoppable experience.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, well, look, Clarence is back. Let's see if we get Clarence in here. Okay. Hi, Clarence. Hi, Clarence. Can you hear me? I think it's like he's eating potato chips or something. Well, I think that Clarence, it looked like he's in the car and he has a pad on him. Look like a pad. So, well, look, we'll probably get Clarence on the phone and see if he's freed up. We got him on video, but he's not. So let's see if we get the technician to get him on the phone. I'm going to blink him off. But you know what? We might as well just go into your story time. Let's do that. I don't want to keep the audience just sitting around waiting for Clarence, so I'm going to move Clarence out the way. And let's get into your story time. I'm going to pull this up. And this is called... So I think this is from... Let's see. The great certified speaker, Shelton. Her new book, Chandler. So if that focuses a little bit there. Will that focus for us? Chandler Goes Camping. Shelton. Congratulations, Shelly. Nice colored book. Shelly, is this you? I have to read the book. But congratulations, Shelly. Thank you for taking action and continue to take action. You guys shout out Shelly Shelton, certified speaker. Shelly, way to go. Okay. I was just confirming with somebody, see if they can hear it. Hear the whole conversation. So I believe that we can go into a story time right now. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to bring up a story. I started listening to some of this, and I'm excited. My daughter said she was going to come down and listen too. And all right. There's Clarence, but, well, we're going to have to bump him a little bit.
Come around, listening and join the fun. Learning learning as we go, new words and stories. Adventures begun. Let's open up the pages. Don't have far to look. It's all in a book. Ruthie's Reading Room. Ruthie's Reading Room. Ruthie's Reading Room. Ruthie's Reading Room.
All right, my little readers, welcome to Ruthie's Reading Room. I'm Ruthie, and this is my buddy Jaw. He's my favorite stuffy, and he's joining us for story time. And today's story time will be the second part of Chandler Goes Camping. Were you all here last time? Are you joining me back again because you heard part 1 and want to find out what happens in part 2? I hope so, and maybe we have some new joiners. So if you're not already ready, run and get your stuffy or blankie and bring a friend back with you, and we'll finish the story. Run and come back now. All right, perfect. I see you're coming back, and we're all excited to find out the end of the story, right? Okay, I'm ready to read it to you, but let's get ready. Let's put our listening ears on and our hands in our lap and squeeze your stuffy if you'd like. Okay, so we already know which book it is. Chandler Goes Camping, and it's part 2. Let's jump right in. Oh, I need to check to make sure you're all ready. Let's see. Sometimes I get so excited that I skip a step. Oh, but I don't need to check, do I? Look at you all sitting quietly. Excellent. Now let's continue. We left off with Chandler and his friends. They were about to go camping, and Chandler's mom left him a tent. And what was on there? The Philadelphia Eagles. That's right. See, I knew you were paying attention. Okay, let's pick up with, Kermit's sick. Remember, Kermit was one of his friends' names? Let's find out what's going on with Kermit. I open the door and I see a bunch of people. It's my friends and their parents, the Lewis family, the Woolfolks, the Coles, the Browns, the Harrises, and the Smiths. They all came in dancing like they're on Soul Train, the old TV show that Mom and Dad talk about a lot. Miss Brown says, hey, where are your parents? They're here, staring at each other, I said. Miss Brown laughs. Those two have been staring at each other for 20 years, those lovebirds. The rest of the parents chimed in. Look, we are going to have a great time while the boys go camping tonight. It's a great time for all of us to catch up. After their parents come in and hug my parents, all of my friends lined up at the front door to do our handshakes. Kermit and I have the 2 up top, 2 down handshake. Sam and I do the side-to-side uptown slap handshake. David and I do the chest bump and 2 nods. Marlon and I do the pretty boy swag dance, 2 slaps and a nose wiggle. Vernon and I do the Incredible Hulk bodybuilding stand. Whoa, do any of you and your friends have special handshakes you do? Yeah? I can probably handle a high five. Our parents laughed so hard and thought all of our handshakes were great. Now that's my kind of camping. Go inside and use the bathroom, right? Maybe that's not what they're doing. Vernon has a Spider-Man tent. Kermit has a Tennessee Titans tent. Marlon has a Dallas Cowboys tent. Sam has a Green Bay Packers tent. David has a Dallas Cowboys tent too. Of course me, Philadelphia Eagles tent. It's Mom's favorite team also. Dad's favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys. We always battle on football night against Dad. Haha. We all get in line to head outside to the backyard. Each of our moms gives us a hug and a kiss, and our dads give us high fives and hugs. Dad turns on the back house lights for us. We all head to the backyard with our tents and walkie-talkies. We all build our tents in a half-moon formation. All of our parents are taking pictures from the kitchen window and embarrassing us by calling us their babies. We get our tents up like we are professionals. We pump on our chests like we are apes in the wilderness. Ha ha! All of us grab our backpacks, pillows, blankets, walkie-talkies, and fall asleep. Well, except me. I can't sleep. I keep hearing crickets, frogs hopping, and creepy noises. So I pull out my flashlight in my backpack and a sketch pad, and I start drawing. I still can't fall asleep. Then I remember Mom saying, whenever you can't fall asleep, read the Bible, and it will help you have a peaceful night's sleep. Good tip. I have no idea how I can remember Mom saying that. I reached down in my backpack, and there it was. Mom had packed the kids' Bible in my backpack. So I opened it up, and Mom had a page marked with a note inside. This Mom is awesome. The note said, Chandler, no matter what happens in life, I want you to always know that Mom and Dad will be here for you. There will be times that you will help others, be scared, and not know what to do. But God will direct your path. God will give you the desires of your heart. After I read that, I hear Kermit on the walkie-talkie saying, Guys, I can't sleep, and I don't feel well. I feel really sick. My stomach is hurting. There's a pain in my left leg, and my head is hurting. I'm so hot. I don't know what's wrong with me. Everyone else is asleep. I get out of my tent to check on Kermit. I think to myself, wow, if we go back in the house, our parents will think we are not capable of camping by ourselves. It's just our first night. What do we do? What would you do? Would you call for help? Would you help yourself? Let's see what Chandler does. I asked Kermit what he wanted to do. He says, Chan, I'm a sick dude. I need my mom, but I don't want her to think I can't do this camping thing. It's only been a few hours. I know, I feel the same. Let me see what's in my backpack. Mom may have something in there to help. I'll be right back, Kermit. Sounds like they're trying to deal with it themselves. Let's see. All of the parents slept over in our guest bedrooms that night. I could hear them laughing and talking about the old days. They were all still awake, even though it was so late. What should we do? I could hear Kermit's mom, Teresa, so I know she would want to know if he's sick. What do I do? I'm scared. I don't know what the best thing to do is. I go back to my tent to see if Mom has packed any medicine or drinks or something that could help him. I reached down inside of my backpack, and there was a blanket with a note attached to it. The stethoscope that I used years ago when I would go into hospitals with my dad to help people, and a bunch of food. Oh, and if you're wondering what a stethoscope is, it's a thing Dad gave me to listen to people's hearts beating. He had an extra one, so he gave me one. Pretty cool. My mom had packed everything. There was a note on everything. Wow, my mom and her notes. Good grief. This note said, Chandler, wrap yourself in this prayer shawl at night. It was given to me when I was sick and didn't feel well. I had it cleaned. It's warm and it will keep you protected. While it was being made, Miss Linda prayed over it. She prayed that whoever is blessed with it is loved, protected, cared for, and happy. Another great note from his mom. I thought. I took this shawl back to Kermit. I told him, I didn't see any medicine or anything in my backpack, but Mom had this in there. The note says it helped her when she was sick, so wrap yourself in it, okay? If you don't feel better soon, then we'll have to go into the house. I have the key to get in the house. Kermit wrapped himself in it like he was a snow bunny. It was funny. He not only wrapped himself in it, but he also covered his entire body with it, head and all. He looked like a snow bunny wrapped in this blue shawl. I decided to stay with him in his tent. I could hear Mom in my head saying, Did you stay with Kermit to make sure he was okay like a big brother? I am my brother's keeper. Within minutes, the other guys could hear Kermit moaning in pain, and they came over into the tent, asking what's going on with Kermit. Kermit's moaning like he is in a lot of pain, but it was kind of funny too. All of us guys laughed at him, looking like a big baby wrapped in Mom's shawl. Kermit yelled out, Stop laughing at me, I'm sick, remember? Haha. We all waited in Kermit's tent for about 30 minutes to see if he would feel better. Soon we got tired and fell asleep. When we woke up, I heard my mom asking, "Are you guys okay? Are you all in one tent now?" We all look at Kermit to see if he's okay. He was still wrapped in Mom's prayer shawl. Kermit said, "Hey, I feel better. My leg and stomach are not hurting anymore, and I'm not hot. This blanket must be magic. It's a magical blanket. It's really warm." Wow, what just happened? Did Mom's blue prayer shawl make him feel better? I told my mom that we are all okay and excited about night number 2. Wow, that prayer shawl really did some work, didn't it? All right. The next chapter is called You Become Who You Hang Around. This sounds like a good lesson. Listen up. The guys and I brushed our teeth and talked about our first night and what we want to do the second night. Of course, we had to do our handshakes. We all looked in our backpacks to see what supplies we had for day 2. Kermit had a lot of food with tops that could easily be removed. Vernon had vitamins, clothes, food, sketch pads with all of his Spider-Man and Marvel drawings in them. Marlin had cologne, food, and books. Marlin is the pretty boy of the group. Haha. We all laughed that Marlin had cologne. What was he going to do? Wear cologne to keep the bugs away? Sam had a football, food, and clothes. He said he wanted to have his own football team one day. David had clothes, except for underwear. Oops. Somehow he forgot his underwear. We all laughed. His mom went back home to get him underwear. Mom to the rescue. Of course, we decided we were going to play football. Sam created plays, and for hours we played football. Kermit played defensive end, I was a quarterback, and Sam played safety. Vernon and Marlin always liked to play wide receiver positions, but they would switch up and play different positions. After a while, we got tired and it got dark and cold. Dad came outside and lit the fire pit we have in our backyard and gave us instructions to stay warm and not try and build a fire ourselves. He said he and the other dads would teach us that when we go camping with them. Kermit, Vernon, Sam, Marlin, David, and I all had sticks with marshmallows on them. We sat around the fire pit like old men, talking about school, girls, and our dreams. Mom always says you become who you hang around. So who do you hang around? Are they good influences? Do they sometimes get you in trouble? Yeah, you want to hang around people who will lift you up and put you on the good path. It was pretty cool listening to everyone's dreams and goals. Kermit dreamed of being a football player. He wanted to play for the NFL. Sam dreamed of owning his own football team. David dreamed of being an incredible tennis star, like his Uncle Arthur. Marlin dreamed of owning his own company, creating apps for us kids. Vernon dreamed of having superpowers. That's cool. I'd want a superpower. He was really great at drawing. Sometimes I would get him to draw She-Ra and He-Man for Michaela and me. Michaela loved it. And me, I dreamed of being a doctor like my dad. I envisioned myself with a white coat on, nerdy glasses, and a stethoscope around my neck. I dreamed of being married to a pretty lady who was very smart like my mom. I've wanted to be a doctor ever since I was 3 years old, walking around the hospital with my dad. Mom still has pictures of me at 3 years old, wearing a white coat and a toy stethoscope. What do you dream of being? Yeah? Do you have examples in your life of people who are doing what you want to do? It's important, right? To see people doing what you want to do, and especially seeing people who look like you who are doing what you want to do. It's inspiring. Go after your dreams, little readers. I guess now is a great time as any to tell you guys while we are eating marshmallows, to tell you about the stuff I used to do as a kid, I said. My mom used to travel a lot. Dad would have to take me to the sitter when he would go to work at the hospital. So he'd take me to Miss Latanya's house when Mom was out of town. One day, she wasn't available and Dad had no other option but to take me to work and pray that someone would take care of a 3-year-old while he worked. Well, the nursery area said they would, but I got out. I was bored there with them, so I ran out and ended up in a room with a kid that wasn't feeling well. The nurse came looking for me, found me, but everyone in the room had already fallen in love with me by the time the nurse came to get me. At 3 years old, I was already talking like an adult. Everyone thought something was either special or crazy about me. It was weird. It was like I could feel the pain that everyone was dealing with. I didn't want them to hurt, so I would go into everyone's room and hold their hands. I would get out of nursery like I was breaking out of jail. I kept finding myself in patients' rooms that were kids like me. Then later that day, I ended up in 2 rooms of older people that were very sick. They would talk and I would just listen. I would stay for about 20 minutes in everybody's room. I would hold everyone's hand and say, I will pray for you. That's amazing at 3, right? Everyone started taking pictures of me in their rooms and called me Chandler, the angel, or Chandler, the future doctor. What's your story, Kermit? Kermit says, I used to carry around a blanket until last year. Don't you guys tell anyone. Haha, we all laughed. It's not funny, he said. I calmed everyone down. I can't explain it, Kermit continued. I don't know why I carried around a blanket like Linus. Everyone would ask me why I had it. Dudes, I don't know why I had it. I guess it was like a security blanket. Do any of you have stuff you carry around that makes you feel safe? I used to create a pillow with it when I would go over somebody's house. But my dream is to be an NFL player. I think about football all the time. I want my dad to be proud of me. He is always working at our family's seafood restaurant. The only time we get to spend time together is when my brothers and I help at the restaurant after school. We aren't supposed to be working. Mom said we are too young, but we just love helping Dad. It is the best time ever. But Dad never comes to my football games. My mom comes to all my football games. I hope she's proud of me. Wow, that's the most we've ever heard you talk, Kermit. Kermit doesn't talk much. We always just have to try and figure out what he's thinking most of the time, except when he's sick. David says, man, I wonder what girls talk about. You think they talk about their dreams, us, cars, or sports? We all said, us. Right at that time, Kermit said, Chan, call Michaela and ask her what the girls talk about when they all get together. That's one way to find out. Just ask a girl, right? I got on my walkie-talkie. Breaker, breaker, 1.9. Michaela, you there? Yep, I'm here. It's late. What's up? I thought you guys were camping out, Michaela said. Yes, we are camping now in my parents' backyard. It's day 2. We wanted to ask you, when you girls get together, what do you talk about? Your dreams? Guys? Cars? Or sports? Michaela said, we don't talk about cars or sports. We talk about what we want to do when we grow up, homework, guys, and school. Now get into your tent and go to sleep. I'm going to bed. 10-4, roger that, I said. She's so bossy, but I love it. It's getting late, so I get on my walkie-talkie and tell Dad that we are all going to get in our tents. He said he would keep an eye on the fire in the fire pit. Before we head off to sleep, Sam says to us, what if we all were able to make our dreams come true, but make them come true sooner? Now as kids. Like, what if we owned businesses or started our own football league or became a doctor and tennis star now? How would we do it? What would the dream of putting all the pieces together look like? That's great. Sam is thinking ahead, eh? Why wait if you can start some of the things you're dreaming of now? Something to think about, little readers. I lean into Sam and tell him that I already started my own business with the traveling prayer shawls, or as Kermit would say, magic blanket. I help people all over the world. Mom and Dad have a website for me where people order my prayer shawls. Look, Sam, I just want to help people. When I saw my Aunt Keisha get very sick, I couldn't handle seeing her sick or cry. My mom has been very sick in the past too. Once social media got a hold of it, it exploded and everyone started ordering them. But my goal is to be a doctor like my dad. But I love the cards and letters I get from people telling me how the shawls have helped them. We can talk later about it. Sam looks at me like a deer in headlights. You know I got that phrase from Mom, right? Sam asked me more about it. Reader, if you're just hearing about this for the first time, you've got to get Mom's first book, The Adventures of Chandler and the Traveling Prayer Shawl. Sam said, wow, okay, I want to start my own football team for us 11-year-olds, like some type of football league for our age. What do you think, Chandler? Does that sound crazy? I know I'm only 11, but heck, man, look at you. You've got a business all over the world helping people. No, it's not crazy. So let's talk more about this. As soon as I said that, the other guys came over asking me about the shirts in my backpack that Mom and I had worked on to send to our customers and their caretakers. Kermit said, Chan, yo, this is really nice. It says, walking into 2020 like a boss. Clearly that was before last year, huh? Here's another one that says, I had given up, but God. We love these. The end. That's the end of part 2, my little readers. Wasn't that a fun adventure they had? 2 nights of camping? From Kermit getting sick the first night to them having a football game and playing the second day. And then some really good conversations for 11-year-old boys, huh? Thinking about the future and what they want to do, and even wanting to start the work now. I hope that's inspiring for you, little readers, as we've learned many times throughout our stories that you can be a child entrepreneur if you have a great business idea. Why not start today? So another great story read in Ruthie's Reading Room. Love having your company here and listening along. As always, remember to look in the description below to find a link to where you can buy this story. And if you enjoy reading with me, please remember to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. Then you'll know the next time we read a story. And remember, the best place to read is wherever you are with a book. You can make it this one. All right, little readers, happy reading. Bye.
Yay!
So I'm kind of blown away because I hear the public speaking. I hear the theme that you're building children up. If we had these books back in elementary school when I was growing up, I believe that we would have more doctors, more entrepreneurs, more business owners. Wow, I see your public speaking all in that book, the children, and now I'm imaging you not speaking to adults, speaking to children, a whole auditorium, about 200 or 300 children, just speaking to their existence and who they are.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. That was different because we don't have too many public speakers speaking to our children. This book is a public speaking. This is you just lined that on up, with no problem. You took one gift and added it right to the other, but you're talking to children now.
I love it.
So I'm encouraged to go a little bit further now.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes. And could you tell everybody where you can get this book at? I know it's on Amazon.
Yep, it's on Amazon. In addition, go to Unstoppable, UNIV.com/books.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna post that up as soon as I get it up, and we're gonna talk some more. I'm going to bring Clarence to the stage. Matter of fact, let's have a little break, and then we're gonna bring Clarence on, and get into the story time with him. But then we're gonna bring you back on, and and do some more talking. So let's go to a commercial break. Okay, so we're gonna bring Clarence. Let me see. My back. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm just hearing music in the background. I'm listening to the laptop in the back with the same music. So we're gonna bring Clarence up and add him to the stream. Clarence.
Hello.
How are you? You know what? We were trying to get you on earlier. so we can talk to you before we did the story time. But now we have you here, man. Your brother, you're a very interesting brother. You know,
Yeah, man.
yes, I'm like, I'm talking to Shelly and then listening to her book. I'm like, why didn't we get this stuff when we was in elementary school? What happened? But we'll ask that question later on when we go into a deeper conversation about what happened while we were robbed of stories like this and we were taught the other history, their story. So, Clarence, tell us a little about yourself. Man. I see some great writings up here.
Oh, gee, I hate broad questions like, tell me about yourself. I mean,
I tell you what, let me bring it in. Won't you introduce yourself?
well, hi everyone. My name is Clarence, also known as Crown Prince Web 2.0 from my former podcast days. I'm a graduate of Kane University when it used to be Kane College, and I'm hearing the echo, and I'm not sure whether that's me.
Yeah, yeah. Just keep talking because we don't hear it on our side.
Oh, okay, great. As long as you don't hear it, that's fine. That's the most important thing. Anyway, I'm a graduate from Kane College, with a degree in economics. I'm a big anime fan, and what happens is that I most definitely love the crop of black artists who are on Instagram, who are doing a great deal of black comics and who are doing a great deal of black animation and animated movies. I mean, that is something which is really blowing me away. I'm also impressed with Miss Sister Shelton and her work. Um, what makes it so special is the fact that it is a very strong genre that actually exists now in this new golden age of self-publishing. One of the biggest things that I have experienced is that in my first publishing of a book, which was back in the 80s, it was a monograph. It was about reparations. It was about black student governments. And what happened was that we successfully won a huge reparations settlement for our black student union at the college that I was at. I wrote a book about it, but the
Okay.
book cost like $1,500 to put together and print out. Now, this was at the same time as Rudy Capelli, also known as the principal, wrote his first book. He actually wrote Educating the Black Parents Guide to Educating Your Child at Home, which was an immediate bestseller since he was a classmate of mine, that rivalry type of thing. Or if he could do it, I could do it. I, of course, didn't have at that time the marketing success that Rudy Cavelli did. So fast forward, I've been very active on the internet since the 90s in various forms. I've done a great deal of podcasting, various money ventures, and I am now endeavoring in the field of children's books, which I really call flash fiction,
Okay.
as opposed to children's book, because like I had said on a interview earlier this month or the month before last, I forget which one it was, I explained that I'm not really writing for children. I'm writing in a way that children can understand grown-up themes. And
Yes.
by grown-up themes, that's exactly what Sister Shelton did. She wrote about a grown-up topic, but she put it in a way that children could understand. And that is basically one of the things that I am hoping to accomplish with my writing. The series, which we may have a few pages read from, I'm not sure, but the series is actually going to be a 15 books three core books regarding her childhood, three core books regarding her teenage and college years, and three core books regarding her adult. Now, I don't plan to write all the books. I actually plan to incorporate other writers to participate in the series, just like our illustrations have actually been done by two different people. Now, the series I'm talking about is Danielle, the Girl from New York. The book, which first came out in July, is Auntie, I Don't Want You to Get Married. This
Yes.
book was actually written back in the 90s. When I went down to Guyana for a wedding. I got sick. I lost the original manuscript. I lost the original illustration, which was done by a Guyanese artist and everything. And it took me until the pandemic to actually sit down, buy another laptop. Oh, by the way, uh, just because, see, like you said, the story is interesting, but unless you know some of the other parts, you don't know how interesting it really is. One of I am a computer technician. I'm A+ certified. One of the ways that I've been making money from going on the internet was actually repairing, posting up flyers, repairing computers for people, and selling them refurbished computers, trying to get that computer literacy up before it even became a catchphrase. Um, One of the things that happened, and I'm gonna stop saying that. uh,
That's okay.
no, because I feel like the circle back girl, Jim Pisaki, saying, uh, eh, that's
Look.
not normally how I publicly speak or speak on interviews. I am usually much more thought prepared. Dr. Pattern interrupts. I sell computers. I worked in corporations doing computer IT. So I always had access to computers. I didn't have access to a computer at this particular time. So I buy a laptop, and the laptop is supposed to be so that I can practice coding. Because for the past 4 years, I've been driving taxis and Ubers. I've had several cars. I've put people to work, uh, and different things. So I said, you know what? I want to return to one of my roots, start improving my coding. The computer I brought did not have the power to do what I wanted to do. That's when it hit me. Why don't I take this time and use this computer to put the story together?
Right.
Utilizing the tools on the internet like Fiverr, like the service known as freelancer.com, I was able to have the editing done on the book and the illustrations done. The book is truly a multinational cooperative effort financed by Uber driving and taxi driving.
Okay.
So, and I said driving, not the companies, but the
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah.
But the distinction needs to be made, and because of the fact that people aren't really, how can I say, they're programmed to think in terms of big grants from corporations, or I need all this money or that money, or I need to have this Kickstarter campaign in order to start my project and get it out there. And no, you don't. You
Okay.
cast down your bucket. You start where you are. That was just what the message was at the Atlantic Exposition with Booker T.
Now, where are you located at? Are you in Philadelphia area?
No, I'm in the Philadelphia area, but I'm way up north. I'm like North Philly, known as NYC, New York.
Oh, you up in North Philly? Yeah, that North Philly.
Yeah, that North Philly.
Yeah, you in North Philly. You in the
So
deep part of
far
North Philly.
north, like towards the North Pole.
Yeah, it takes a little while to get to that part of North Philly. Let
Yeah,
me ask
yeah,
you a question. Let me ask you a question. The demographic of your book, what is your target? Who are you targeting?
well, great question. And I wish I had a really simple answer, but it's really anybody in the family.
Okay.
The best way to describe it is just like you and I are sitting around and just finished dinner. and it's a wonderful time, and you all start reminiscing. And then all of a sudden, you start telling now you have the little children there, you have the teenagers there getting ready, a little restless because they want to get out and go, and you have the adults there, and the whole family is just sitting there, and you're just telling the story.
Well, you're just a sit around the campfire book reader, right?
Well, not even that. It doesn't even take the campfire, it just takes the family. I'm more interested in the family per se than just the children's campfire experience.
You
Because
know,
the
it's kind
lesson
of,
because
you
the
know, it's,
lessons, all right, cover exactly what you were just talking about, the lack of being exposed to certain concepts and ideas. See, one of the reasons why I didn't have the experience that you had coming up was because my parents had given me Golden Legacy comics, and they still exist in Queens. And
oh
Golden
wow.
Legacy Comics basically told me the story of Harriet Tubman. It told me the story of Sojourner Truth. It told me the story of Frederick Douglass. It told me the story of Robert Smalls, of Dr. Drew, the guy who did the blood plasma. And blood plasma is an issue and topic which is actually relevant today with the coronavirus and everything, and how they were talking about using the platelets to heal people. And little old Dr. Charles Drew, who was not able to get treatment when he was in a car accident because he was a black man, was the man who actually pioneered and developed that field. All that was contained in the comic, and all
Now,
that was given to me when I was at a very, very young age, which basically, when I was coming up, dealing with racism was a bit more challenging in the sense that I came in the root era, and I was going to a predominantly all-white school at the time. All right, and basically the Kunta Kinte chase scene got acted out a couple of times, and then later when I went to high school, I can remember actually getting into a confrontation, a physical altercation with a young Irish boy who kept using the N word. Now I told him, don't do it. And the third time he did it, I snatched his gold chain off his neck and we went tumbling down the store. I mean, because that was how that particular word affected me. Now, I don't urge people to do that today, but I'm just letting you know how it was in the early 70s. I'm 57. April 1st was my birthday.
happy birthday. Let me ask you a
Okay.
question. Let's talk about aunties. I don't want to get married. I have a clip here, but you want to explain that title?
Well, that's the story. That's the mystery. And it's funny because people, every time I tell, Dad, they first say, what? Why don't you want your auntie to get married? But why don't you get married? The title is Auntie, I Don't Want You to Get Married. And it
Okay.
centers around a young girl who does not want her aunt to get married. Now, in the later tale, you'll find out more about that. All right. But for that particular episode, that particular issue, they basically centers around the aunt trying to find out why her niece, who came all the way from New York to see her in Guyana, doesn't want her to get married.
Let me play this clip. Let me play this clip real quick, okay?
Sure. Wow,
Now,
those pictures blow me away every time I see them.
it looks interesting. And also your books are on.
Yeah, the world building
One
of
second.
Beastars doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I won't.
Yeah, a lot of your books are on Amazon as well too. I'm gonna put up that link during the show where to get your books at. Now, do you go out and do any readings? You know, or do you sit in front of an audience and
Great question. I haven't done that as of yet because the book just came out in July in the
right?
midst of the pandemic. Now, what I have done is I did do a few online readings.
Okay.
All right. And I basically have done podcasts where I've read, I was just on Inside the Author's Mind with DC Gomez. She's based out in Texas. And she always starts her stories with a reading of the author's writing and then proceeds into the interview.
Okay. Wow. So tonight is kind of interesting. You know, I'm learning a lot. This is actually my first doing an interview of authors, great authors at that. A lot of our black communities don't know you guys exist, and that's not that's what we're lacking in our communities. You know, especially with our young people. These books are not in the schools. You know, we have their books, their stories told, stories. That's all they were made up, but they don't have anything to say. Hey, you could be an entrepreneur. You know, I mean, when I was going back to school, you know, and actually looking at some of the old film clips where the white teacher would actually tell the student, all you can be is a butler or a maid. But Shelly, you just took it to another level and telling children, like, look, hey, you can become a doctor, you know, if you get around the right people. And Clarence, you just telling a deep story with a punch in the gut that actually makes you want to think. So I mean, two great authors. You know, I wish we can keep this going all night long.
Yeah,
You know.
I hear you. I would just like to say two things. One is that the stories with Danielle actually go into some of those financial issues. And one of
Right.
the reasons why we're incorporating other women, actually having women actually participate in writing, is because I want to capture the authentic thoughts and feelings of young women and of young girls and then of older women as they go in so that it has that touch of reality and that authentic voice.
Okay.
Both of the books have been written totally by me. Uh, Now we're looking, the artwork was actually done in Sri Lanka and India. One of the things that I hope to do as I continue to sell more books and it generates more revenue is actually incorporate more people in our community. And one of the things, the second thing that I wanted to say is that in terms of my targeting, my primary focus in targeting now is actually reaching out to school boards. One of the things that I raised to some other authors is that we really need to get together and put together a scholastic achievement catalog. It could be a
Okay.
digital catalog, which would basically be sent out to all the school districts. It would have our authors in it, and that could be something that people can bring to their PTAs uh, when they have their digital Zoom meetings and whatever. You could bring it to their school board, and there you actually have a proactive step to remedy the situation that you're talking about. Because absolutely, I was just talking with one of the former members of the Jersey City, New Jersey school board, and they're currently talking with people who could possibly get my book in there. Another group of authors have basically been donating books. Authors United basically is a group of authors and they have been putting their books together. I donated 4 books, I think. Yeah, 4 books because it was a book per school, and it went to 3 schools, one in Brooklyn, 2 down south somewhere, and those type of activities where we can go through the process of donating books, think Dolly Parton, all right, was very popular in the Tennessee area.
Okay.
Getting together with the authors here in the Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey region, having special giveaways for the teachers, we can actually begin the process of getting more of our books sold in our community and more of our books distributed and read in the community.
Okay. Well, we got one of your books up here on the screen, and Jacqueline is going to read about 15 minutes of your book. So I'm going to actually go ahead and bring it up on the screen. Jacqueline,
I'm so nervous.
are you there? Okay. So we got a lot of book reading on tonight, you know. So let's engage this book and see, you know. 1 second. All right, I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. There you go. Jacqueline, you got to unmute yourself. Okay.
It
Jacqueline,
was a beautiful summer day. The sun shone brightly on the small house at South Rummelsville Park in Georgetown, Guyana. Julie and her 9-year-old niece were in. After watching the dishes, Julia handed them to Daniel to dry. Julia smiled at Daniel. Julia passed as she handed Daniel the third dish. Looking lovingly at her niece, she asked, "What's wrong, sweetie?" Daniel softly replied, "Nothing, Auntie." Julia made a disapproving face toward her niece. Then Julia turned to watch the next dish. In silence, Julia washed and handed Danielle the dishes to dry. After a few minutes, Daniel whispered, "Auntie." Julia stopped and answered, "Yes, Daniel." Danielle paused. Then she shook her head as she dried the dish in her hand. Julia made another disapproving face, then washed another dish. She couldn't understand it. Danielle, who had traveled all the way from New York City by herself, was very brave and happy young girl. Julia couldn't understand why her niece was feeling so sad. A few more minutes passed. Daniel whispered again, "Auntie." "Yes, Danielle?" Again, Danielle shook her head. This time, Julia said, "Please tell me what's wrong, honey." Julia could see that her niece was about to cry. Danielle's big brown eyes were welling up with tears. "Baby, can you tell me anything? Tell me what's bothering you." Danielle shook her head, sniffled, then blurted out, "Auntie, I don't want you to get married to Uncle." The response hit Julia like a slap. "What?" she stammered in disbelief. "Auntie, I don't want you to get married to Uncle," Daniel repeated. "Why, baby?" Danielle sniffled and shook her head again. Julia just looked at her. In her mind, Julia recalled what happened the last few days. Her niece Danielle was 9. Came down from New York City to visit. Danielle planned to stay with her aunt for 2 weeks before going back home. It just so happened that Julia was getting married in 2 days to Uncle. Uncle had come down to Guyana from New York City just like Danielle a week earlier. Back in America, he was a writer for a local newspaper that focused on community cultural affairs. He would tell some funny and wonderful stories about the different people about the way different people lived. Danielle, sweetie, what's wrong? Why don't you want me and Uncle to get married? Her niece just stared there, slightly looking down. Julia frowned for a moment. Her brows hurried as she tried to figure out what was going on. Then she softly asked, "Is it that you don't like Uncle?" Danielle stretched her head up and enthusiastically replied, "No, Auntie, I like Uncle a lot. He's very funny." While Danielle was down there, it seemed like they were having a wonderful time. They went to Georgetown Botanical Gardens where Danielle and her uncle petted a wild manatee. He had carried her on his shoulders while they walked through the market near Robb Street. They all ate lunch together at Palmport Restaurant. There, Danielle had a cold coconut water with a straw in it. On another day, he had rode a riverboat down the Essequibo River. After about an hour on the trip, the guide announced they had reached the destination of their outing. Uncle was so excited that he took off his shirt and dived from the boat into the water. Danielle laughed and Julia blushed as they watched them swim to the small island where they had refreshments. Of course, Julia and Danielle went ashore in one of the small inflatable rubber boats that the rest of the passengers rode in. A look of relief briefly crossed Julia's face. She was happy that Danielle liked her uncle. The look of relief left Julia's face as her brows furrowed again at the thought of solving this mystery. Why didn't her niece want her to marry Uncle? She slowly bent down. She slowly bent down in order for her face to be at the same level as her niece. Quietly and gently, she said, "Danielle, dear, can you tell me anything? Auntie won't be mad. Please tell me why you don't want me to marry Uncle." So we're gonna just stop right here, and we're gonna you get divided to find out the mystery. Just like you get to buy a Chandler
Spoiler. No one is
to find out what happened, about the whole
spoiler.
beginning of the
And
story.
that's one of the things.
I wanted to hear the whole thing. So
That's
I got to
right.
stop. I can't read it now, so I'm going to cut it off.
I know.
But now, see, we get to find out, the background of Chandler. Like, how did he get all of that? And it's like so much more good stuff you guys missed in the beginning of the book. So you gotta buy it. And we gotta find out, why doesn't Daniel want our auntie to marry uncle?
Bingo. That really covers and that's really the synopsis of the first one. And the second book actually is a cliffhanger too. And so the idea is basically Alexander Dumas. Alexander Dumas was the brother who wrote The Three Musketeers.
My
The
favorite
way
book.
he wrote The Three Musketeers, he wrote The Count of Monte Cristo, and the way that brother wrote it was that he wrote it as installations in a local newspaper in France. Now, his father was a great Haitian general. He came from um, over the seas. He was the son of a rich white count and his servant black mother. And what happened was that the Alexander Dumas's father got mad at his father and took his mother's name, because his mother's name was Dumas. And that's when he joined the army. He rose to the rank of general. He got into a big beef with Napoleon, and Napoleon basically was one of the people who kind of sidetracked his career. You know how folks get jealous and stuff? That's exactly what happened to Alexander Dumas's father. And a lot of that brother's writing was centered around the experiences of his father. And that's where a lot of the characterizations for the Three Musketeers, which everyone sees, but they don't know, was done by a black man, especially if you go by the one drop rule. Okay, it go written by a black man, and it was based on the background. The Count of Monte Cristo and the other ones were all based on the experiences of the black man's father.
Awesome. I want to display the Amazon Prime. Amazon. I got Prime. Amazon books. So this way, people know where to get them at. You can. I just want to display these real quick. Let's see. Share screen. I'm going to bring up Shelly's book first. You can purchase it on Amazon. The book that was read today was only $19.99. Support people. Do not, do not. I repeat, do not. I will find you. I need for you to buy this book because I'm actually going to purchase this book. By proving it, I'm going to go to my shopping cart right now. I'm going to show you guys that I am going to buy this book. Let me see.
Show them how you got there first, Chris, because you got there from Unstoppable. Yeah.
Oh, you know
Didn't you get
what?
there from Unstoppable, univ.com/books?
Well, I think you can just go to Kindle Store. If you go to Kindle Store and then type in
Yeah,
Shelly.
but show them the Unstoppable.
Oh, the Unstoppable. Okay, let me go
Yeah,
back to what. I
yeah,
don't. Do I have that link?
yeah. Yeah. It's there. It's in the private chat too.
Okay,
See if
let
she
me.
posted it there for you.
Right, let me get.
I see the Okay, the Facebook. Give me show. Okay.
I'll be making my purchase through there also.
Unstoppable.com. Okay. Yes.
I had a first book, Smile. Matter of fact, it's down here somewhere. I probably could dig it up. I got my books too.
All right. Let me
I
bring
got
up.
that over the summer.
That page
Oh
is
yeah, I
powerful.
see
Oh
Smile.
man. Let me. Okay, wait a minute. This page is powerful. I love web designing, so yes. She's speaking with authority.
Oh, so now I know who to
Oh
talk
yeah, she's an awesome speaker.
Yes.
And
Actually,
just to share with people, there's also opportunities for you to book these authors. You can book them as speakers. You can book them to do readings for your programs, for schools, any of your community programs. If you have any youth programs, reading books, and you want to get multiple books, maybe get them in bulk. Check with her. Also, what I really need you to do, since this is the Black Book Art and Finance Fair, one of the best things you could do for an author is go to a regular bookstore, a Black bookstore especially, but any bookstore, and ask for the book. If you keep asking for the book and people keep going to the bookstores, they in turn, because each of these books has an ISBN, then they will order it. But they don't order books that aren't requested. So I need you can either go online or definitely go to your Black bookstores and keep requesting it. If more people keep requesting it, then the bookstore will use their ISBN and order it in the bookstore.
Well, as we're doing this right now, I'm actually sharing this on my social media with Facebook and YouTube Live. So I'm already pushing it out on my end, and I got a few people. They've been texting me all night about the speaker. So we have a good audience on both sides. So your network is your net worth. Yeah. That's how I live my life. So yes, definitely.
So if you click on books from the website, if you click on books,
and everybody that knows me, if you come onto my Facebook and send me an inbox, I will direct you to the website, and I'm gonna repost the website again, and get this woman working. She needs more work. She looked too young to be out there. She's not working hard enough. So let's get her working. So yes. And I want to get Clarence's page up here real quick.
Yeah, if you go to Unstoppable University, just click on books. All her books will come up, and then you.
Okay. There we go. You can reach Clarence Coggins. Am I saying your name right? I don't want to.
Coggins, yeah. There you go.
You sound muffled. I don't know if the system went out. Anything? Can y'all still hear me? Okay, everybody sounds muffled, but this is Clarence's page. Get into that shopping cart, grab a book right here. Auntie, Why Didn't Get Married? So finish the book. Get the book and finish it. $7.99 Kindle. You can actually get the Kindle on your iPhone or your Android phone, download it, and you can read this book right on your phone. Paperback or electronic. So here we are.
Well, so the 6 cans for my copy is physical copy is a coloring book. In addition to being physical. So both the story and practice.
Okay. Awesome. So, yes, this has been an interesting night. Shelly, do you have anything you want to say before we go and start going to our bedtime stories?
Well, we went to bedtime.
No, I'm going to bedtime stories.
Yeah, we did the bedtime story. I just want to thank everyone. Thank you so much, Jacqueline and Chris and Clarence. I'm going to get your book too. It was very inspirational to hear your story and the story that you were sharing through that and listening to the history behind what you said. So thank you so much. I'll be definitely jumping on Amazon and grabbing your book and supporting you as well.
Absolutely. There is actually a Black bookstore which has their website. I'll put that in the chat so you can contribute that way too. Okay.
I would love to bring you guys into my conversation rooms on Thursdays. I have a talk with Black artists, anybody has a Black business out there. I like to interview and just have conversation with you about who you are and bring out to my audience, and hopefully we can network. And you know what? Said the wrong word. Hopefully, we're going to definitely network. We're going to definitely do some things because when this pandemic is over, we got some people that need to read. So, is there anything else, Jacqueline? Are we good? You're on mute.
Yeah, you guys can join us back here next Tuesday evening at the same time for more bedtime stories. And then on the 16th, we are doing watch night, movie night. So an independent filmmaker and screenwriter, her name is Aaliyah Jackson. She's over in LA. She did the movie Cover. I don't know if y'all remember back in 2007, but what's her name? Vivica Fox and a few different people were in it. And again, I guess like Clarence, during the pandemic, she got back to writing and she has a couple more shorts out. So we're going to have movie night then on the 16th with Aaliyah Jackson. And then the 17th is going to be a fun day. We're going to have Saturday morning cartoons with comic book creators. And then we're going to do our family day. And you know how we open with the video forgiveness? We'll close with that. But the artist is going to be here, Hezekiah. And I need you to bring your whole family around on the 17th. We're going to start at 2 o'clock. You bring the whole family around, and he's going to show you how you're going to get a free copy of the song. And he's going to show you how to make you use your own family. Like he used his family, you're going to use your own family for your own forgiveness video. And we'll have a contest. You can upload it, share it. So we're just going to have a whole family day. Also be learning financial literacy for the family. So that'll be a comics, finance, family day, and forgiveness day. So we have a lot going on. And then the 23rd is school days. That's during the day. So if you have a school, let me know, but we'll have all the schools out. So people present to the school from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. East Coast time. But that's time that the schools will come out, visit us. They'll be able to visit the bookstores and people presenting to them, including Lyrical Math. This woman, she's so fierce. She's one of the fiercest female MCs. And she uses her gift to teach math, 5th grade math. And I mean, she has deep math. But she has several books. They have where you can actually be tutored throughout. But she's going to come and you learn how to dance. We'll do it. We'll learn to dance and math at the same time. So it'll be lyrical math on that day, along with some other featured speakers from quilting, all different types of subjects, but all speaking to young people. And on the 30th, everything ends on the 30th. We also have 2 more authors coming on the 23rd and the 20th. So we have 7 more sessions. So just go to blackbookfairlive.com and you'll be able to see the whole schedule.
All right, guys.
So much for the invite.
Well,
definitely.
Guys, yes. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, Book Reading Nation. Get those books. And I'm Christopher
Let
Abbott.
us know about your company again, Chris.
Yes, I'm Christopher Lee Abbott, CLA Media 11. I'm here in Philadelphia. I serve the tri-state area in multimedia, video production, and photography. Also TV production. So, look, if you need to be on screen, come and see me. All right? So, everybody, let's have a good night. I'm going to go upstairs and find a book to read.
Okay, so.
Good night.
All righty.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
Oh,
That was awesome.